Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Host the Hut, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut. Now this on YouTube will go on the Baseball Hut too. Obviously this video is being watched on Substack, and I'll be posting this on X. So I think this is like an important video. And I've been on this, talking about this for 2 years now. This whole situation that happened with Shohei Ohtani last year. How he was involved with, or his interpreter was involved with, this gambling scandal where he was, he quote unquote stole all this money, stole millions of dollars, and Ohtani didn't know about it. And supposedly the interpreter impersonated him on the phone, tried to tell people that he was Ohtani. But here's the problem, folks. When this story broke, the Dodgers, the Los Angeles Dodgers, were in Korea playing the Korean series against the Padres, South Korea. And ESPN had gotten word that there was a federal probe looking into the interpreter. Initially, the interpreter spoke with ESPN and said that Ohtani knew about it. But then when they realized, I guess MLB got wind of it, and the Dodgers got wind of it, they fired the interpreter, and basically they started sweeping it under the rug. Made it seem like the interpreter and Ohtani did not talk about this. Now, as you know, if you have any issues with this massive amounts of money leaving your bank account, the bank is going to alert you to that. You're going to get a call. You're going to get an email. You're going to get something. Or investigators that are always watching these players that were for MLB are going to hear about it. And they're going to tell the teams and tell the players. So, it seemed like the Dodgers and Ohtani were kind of caught off guard. That's the official word. But that is not how some of this played out. Now, the interpreter is going to prison. He's in prison, I guess. He said he's the only one that knew about it. He took the hit. Now, a couple of things. There are all kinds of rumors that CAA, that is the agency that represents Ohtani, had connections to the former former White House administration of Joe Biden, and the belief is that they swept it under the rug to protect him, and the quid pro quo was that CAA would get deals for Biden and Kamala Harris as a way to sort of smooth things over. Supposedly. And that happened this year, once Biden lost the election, and this year they both signed deals with CAA, which represents, and is also a big talent agency with Hollywood stars and actors and actresses. But I've been sort of on this because a lot of this doesn't make any sense to me. All this money passing hands, and Ohtani doesn't know about it. How could he not know about it? How could the Dodgers not know about it? Well, a former major leaguer and a good major leaguer and former all-star, former manager for the White Sox, Ozzie Guillen, has come out, and this was done during an interview on one of these Spanish-speaking podcasts. And this is going to get all swept under the rug. Unless this starts to grow, people really start to talk about it, MLB is going to tell their media to don't pay attention to it. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. This was very quiet. I didn't know about this. A subscriber, Muttley Love, told me about it. He's a great subscriber. He subscribes to me on Substack and on YouTube, and he follows me on X. This is from Newsweek. Former big leaguer says MLB protected Shohei Ohtani and Benedict Scan. Now, the biggest reason they'd be protecting him is he's making millions of dollars from them. Boatloads of money. Not only in here, but in Japan. When I think about this guy, I always think of Lance Armstrong for some reason. 4 months after Ibe Misahara was sentenced to nearly 5 years in prison for stealing from Shohei Ohtani to pay for gambling losses, the saga comes to life once again. Former 3-time All-Star and 2005 American League Manager of the Year, Ozzie Guillen, and World Champion Manager, is speaking out about the situation. He believes Ohtani was the one who was secretly gambling. Quote, everyone knows that Shohei Ohtani took a chance by gambling, and they, Major League Baseball, protected him. Guillen told Fernando Ballesteros of Pure Baseball in Puerto Rico. Now, if they start to go after again, you're going to hear stuff like he's crazy, don't listen to him, he doesn't know what's going on, he's a disgraced manager, he shouldn't be in baseball. You'll hear that. Mizuhara was sentenced to 57 months in prison for stealing from Ohtani back in February, just before the season started. The Dodgers have stood by Ohtani's side, as prosecutors have stated multiple times Ohtani was the victim in this situation. However, many baseball fans on social media, particularly fans of rival teams, believe what Guillen is saying to be true. There is still some belief in the baseball world that Mizuhara took one for the team to prevent Ohtani from being banned. Ohtani has since moved on from the situation and continues to produce a strong season at the plate for the Dodgers. Now, I would mention this happened last season. So he had the MVP year last year, and now he's having an okay year, not as good as last year. Guillen has always been known by baseball fans for speaking his mind, so this statement shouldn't come as a surprise. As of now, though, there's zero evidence to support his claim. It could be out of spite, jealousy, or a combination of both. He's already beginning to smear him. Already smearing him. And that tells you a lot. That's the one thing that we see the media does. They will smear you with this kind of nonsense. A lot of this doesn't add up. A lot of the things that Ohtani, behavior, he's a very strange guy to begin with. We've seen very strange behavior from him over the last, specifically after he signed with the Dodgers. And he did not come to the Dodgers with a very good reputation amongst his teammates. His reputation when he played for the Angels was not great. You know, that a lot of times the team would have to answer questions that he wouldn't answer. He would just sort of disappear. Did not do well with interviews. Did not do well with really... did not really do well in terms of interacting with his teammates. And like I said, they would leave him out. He would leave them out to dry. You know, it's an amazing thing. This is kind of similar to what happened with Pete Rose in a lot of ways. Because when Pete was playing, Major League Baseball knew that he had all kinds of gambling issues when he played. Because they were making money off of him, with him chasing the record of Ty Cobb. They weren't going to rock the boat. And this is a situation, they're not going to rock the boat again. Unless somebody comes out with a smoking gun in this situation, this is going to be forgotten. But this will pop up again. I can guarantee he's too big of a player for this not to be noticeable. I think a lot of people noticed it. I think a lot of fans consider this very shaky. Okay. My opinion is I think that he was involved with something. He knew about it at the very least because the interpreter said that he got approval of helping him pay the money off. So there's something doesn't make sense. And the Justice Department was so quick to exonerate him. So quick to exonerate him. Justice in this country was not supposed to work quickly. It's supposed to take your time doing it. There's no rush to judgment. It's supposed to be how it's supposed to be. But for some weird reason, they were so quick to move on from it. But you can't blame them. I mean, they're trying to make money off this guy. You know, it's a very strange situation, and they want this to go away. This will percolate for a day or so, but then this will fizzle out. The big media in baseball won't talk about this. I'm surprised it even got on Newsweek. If you do a Google search, all these smaller websites, all these smaller news websites, they talk about it. But obviously in this Newsweek, they went after and said he's jealous. I don't understand what the jealousy comes from. I don't understand that. You know, why all of a sudden you put these kind of things onto somebody that just started making an observation that a lot of people think. And they have an investment here. There's a lot of money invested in this guy. Not only here, but in Japan. They can't lose this guy. The worst thing they can have to Major League Baseball is this guy gets himself into trouble. And like I said, he's a very strange individual, in my opinion. Just based off of certain things. And the fact that his home run totals and his stolen base totals are so much higher than the next player under him is very suspicious too. So let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please, subscribe on Substack, subscribe on the YouTube channel, and follow me on X. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.